is. Yeah. Okay.
Right. Oh man, this feels like a long time coming, but it feels right.
Yeah.
It does feel right.
It does. We've respectively had enough conversation between the three of us
Yeah.
that could fill a lot of reels.
That's true.
That's fact.
Yeah, your mic still sounds like
so good.
proper. Your mic still sounds proper.
You know what's crazy? Looking at the levels, mine is the highest, but I don't know how. That's the crazy part because we're all at the same level.
Yeah.
I turned all our channels up to 35.
But if I bring mine closer, it probably sounds better.
Yeah, yours go up past mine.
Yeah. Try yours.
Ooh.
If I say something, it doesn't sound any different.
It's because your voice is already deep.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, as we were talking off camera, and we were talking about like, just tired. Like, good Lord.
Yeah.
Today was such a day.
What'd you do?
The part that's funny is not even what I did. It's just the culmination of 2024. Holy crow. Just like it over and over. Eden had her dancing yesterday, photos. Just trying to get everything rolling for business and work.
Yeah.
And obviously I could do better. I could get more sleep, but it just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Just doesn't happen. Actually, that's a question. How are you managing with your for work and like doing?
Bro, sleep is not even a thing for me right now.
Really? Really? Oh,
Bro,
man.
I sleep like 3 hours per day.
Golly.
Yeah.
But if you're doing your tick anyway, man.
I make sure everything's happening. But
That's what I'm saying. Do what you got to do, and then you're good to go. Like, this is like, it's been a long day, but.
That's the funny thing is I thought about that recently.
What's that?
Sleep.
Yeah.
And how much do I really need? Because before, like maybe it's age thing. People will say, "Yo, when you hit your 30s, things change and all that." And like, yeah, I get you.
They ain't lying.
I get you. But it's like now, if I go over like 6. I'm way more tired.
You're more tired?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me.
I would love to get more than 6.
I actually seen something like that where like they were talking about like Nikola Tesla and like some certain other people.
Yeah.
That they only needed 6 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
And like 6 hours of sleep was their like maximum. And then after that it was like too much sleep.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. That's a different one for.
Yeah. I know.
That's different. I don't even know how to. Yeah. 6 hours is decent, but there are times when you can just tell, like, you're exhausted right now.
True.
You're exhausted and you just want to keep sleeping, but,
Okay, so check this. So I find that if I sleep a solid, like, let's say, like, I get 1 day of good sleep or 2 days of good sleep.
And what's that look like for hours?
I would say, like, maybe, like, 8 solid or 9, anywhere from 8 to 12.
Okay.
Solid.
Over that 1 day.
Over that 1 day or a couple of days. Like, even if it's, like, 3 days of a solid 8 hour sleep.
Yeah.
For the next, like, month and a half, I'm, like, okay with just getting 4 hours.
I feel like that, like, to your point, Russ, like, when you're getting older now, it's like them things catch up on you quick.
True.
Catch up on you quick.
Granted, I'm only 32.
So
it's like
I was 32 at one point, and I thought I was invincible. And now I'm one of those things. I'm not old.
Yeah.
I'm not old, but it's like just even the healing factor.
Yeah.
Bro, I bruised my leg the other day. It's been a minute and it still hurts. And I'm like, why is this thing hurting like this?
So that stuff happens in degrees though. Like, because I feel some of that stuff too.
Yeah.
Whereas like for example, like a hangover right now in my 30,
I
I'm
could
32, I'm
imagine.
still, it's hectic.
I could imagine.
But
that's why I don't do hangovers. I don't do hangovers, man.
I'm on the same boat.
I don't do hangovers. I can't manage a hangover right now. I can't manage
bro, it's tough.
Listen,
it's tough.
It's been a busy weekend so far, Friday, Saturday. I'm telling you right now, tomorrow, I am passing. Like, I ain't waking up. So my body's like, it's time to wake up. Because
the kids wake you up though?
They do, but I just say daddy needs to sleep, and they get it.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm like, yo, go watch some TV or something, or you know, whatever. But everything's situational, right? Because even us coming here together right now, this is blessed. Like we've had this conversation, we've put it all together. Respect to you, Ras. Respect to you, Daniel.
Facts.
Like we've got this. We're here right now. It's so funny because like there's so much topics that like run through my head.
Yeah.
As far as like conversation, but I realize that in these situations, just like yo, just being here is like almost like enough to a degree. Almost to a degree. It's like yo, we really
did this.
We really set this up. We really put it up. We really set it up. Like we're here. Like we sound good. Like Mr. Calling on some VJ stuff. Mr. Calling on some VJ stuff.
I'm telling you, bro.
Feeling it like
93.7.
Yo, trust me.
Lovers and other strangers.
Yo. Wine and dates. Wine and dates. Yo. Trust me.
Don't leave me hanging.
Sorry, I apologize. My eyes were closed. So like,
oh man,
for even us coming up here, setting this up, you know, it was a seed that we all kind of, that was sparked. Funny enough, back here, I guess what, a year plus ago?
Yeah, it's the same spot.
It was the same spot, year plus ago. Obviously, the weather was a little bit colder.
Yeah.
But we all came together and like shared our points, especially as men, as dads.
Yeah.
And it really showcases us coming this all together.
Yeah.
And having a purpose.
Right.
So that we can, you know, talk about stuff and basically have dads unscripted.
Right.
Because there's stuff that's going on right now as far as, you know, just whether it be with your household, your kids coming to you with stuff. And I'm not saying this is a place to vent or nothing, because let's be honest, I think we have a pretty decent, like for the stories or feedback that I've gotten from other men, it puts things in very clear perspective.
Right.
For me, as far as like, okay, wow, I actually, all right, I'm blessed. I'm not gonna I don't want to use, is that a word? Over complain? Is that a word? Let's pin it. Maybe it is. Over complain as far as like, oh, this, that, whatever. But yeah, it's just something to keep in mind. I apologize in advance. I'm a little under the weather.
No, it's all good.
But
It's all good.
You sound good.
I still wanted to make this happen.
Yeah.
I wanted to make this happen because there's a lot to be said as far as like what we're all, you know, trying to accomplish. Because I said this to you guys off camera. Like this is a opportunity for us to, you know, speak our mind, you know, ultimately add value, funny enough, to our kids.
Yeah.
Because the part that's funny, and we can all probably relate to this, good Lord, our kids don't listen to us as much as they should. But you know what's messed up is that at one point we were there.
Yeah. We were them.
Yo, I remember not listening to my mom.
Yeah.
Not listening to my old man. And was like, yo, this and that. And you know, is it not the most funniest thing when you end up sounding like your parents? Like, do you catch yourself? Sometimes you're like, oh, God.
So, you want to know what the funny thing is? Okay. So, I was kind of like, I was thinking about that. And I was like, that applies to everything in life, obviously. Right? But, like, given that perspective of, like, man, I sound like my parents now. Because I knew at that point in time I was this way. Like, everybody has that perspective in every aspect of life. So like even if you're a manager at your job or whatever, at some point you didn't know what you were doing.
Yeah, no clue.
Right?
True.
So like even in your relationship, there might have been a female, or for the women, a male that you were with.
Right.
That like treated you well and you didn't treat him well.
Yeah.
And then because you weren't ready yet. And then
you lost out.
Exactly, you lost out. But now you're with somebody who you're treating well.
Yeah.
And they're not treating you well.
They're not treating you well. It's a vicious cycle.
It's a you know
vicious cycle, man.
But it just, you kind of like chalk it up to being like, yo, they don't understand yet.
Yeah.
Right? Like when you go to, I'll take your emotions out of it. Yeah. And I kind of look at it from a perspective of they don't really understand. They don't get it yet.
They don't understand themselves. I call it unpacking. Like I've had this conversation with other individuals and they chalk it up to basically saying unpacking. Like this person hasn't unpacked themselves yet to become the best version of themselves.
Right.
Because that's a legit thing when it comes to like, okay, I want to be the best father. I want to be the best man. I want to be the best fill in the blank, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of unpacking that has to go into that, especially if, you know, you might not have gone through tremendous amounts of trauma because we all went through our respective traumas. Let's be honest. We're all Jamaican. We all got our asses whooped at one point. We all got something.
We all saw things
we
that
all
we shouldn't
saw
have
things
seen
that we
at
shouldn't have
certain
seen,
age.
done
Yeah,
things that we
yeah,
shouldn't have
yeah,
done.
yeah.
Yo, let actually pinpoint right now. Not to sound anyway, but I'm very thankful I grew up in the time that I grew up in.
Yeah.
True.
Boy,
True.
things that I pulled or tried to pull sometimes with the amount of cameras that are around right now, especially at home or in the schools or whatever.
Right.
Yo.
Right.
Jeez Louise.
Right. I don't, and that's the other part too, in looking at how we grew up, the time period we grew up in. Maybe we look at, I don't know, maybe it's me or maybe the other people I'm hanging around with, when they look at young people or younger folks doing things, and you're like, man, they're so brazen. And I was like,
we
did that
were
too,
worse. Yeah.
But there wasn't
We just didn't get caught.
filming.
Yeah, there was
of
no
the
camera.
act
Yeah,
in
yeah.
when the time period that we were doing it, because we knew
Yeah, you don't want to
we
get that
want to
catch.
leave no trail whatsoever
trail,
in
zero
anything that
trail.
we're doing. So
None.
it's just a different flip. Like they're okay with it.
They're okay with
we
it.
were like,
nah.
okay, let's check.
I ain't trying to
All
get
right,
no
yo,
catch up in
is so and
this.
so, yo, is Mash Jew or Miss
Yo.
Thing over here? So I we climb our fence, we got teeth, couple mango. All right, nobody not there, so all
Nobody-
right, cool.
quick.
But I'm not gonna film myself go jumping
No.
over the fence to go. Nah.
We had more sense than that. We're not. Yo, that's
That's facts.
that's basically saying, yo, I'm guilty and here's the evidence.
And here's the evidence.
I'm guilty.
Look at this.
Here's the
I just
evidence.
did this.
Put me in like do whatever you need to do.
Yeah, it's
Because
a different perspective, man.
There's also the side now, like these kids, like I'm trying to teach my kids to be tough.
Yeah,
Because yo, the world that we're growing up in right now, or they're growing up in, like it's soft.
Yeah.
I was listening to a reel the other day, and the gentleman talked about like, yo, if you even have your kid just be even 25% tough or 25% determined, or he used the word savage, which, you know, I get where he's coming from.
yeah.
Just that mentality, like, yo, you're going in for the kill kind of thing. Like, you're not letting nobody take advantage of you. You're doing what you need to do. And he's like, just on that alone, you're leaps and bounds ahead
Yeah.
of what these kids nowadays, because, yo, I don't know if you guys saw my post. Not a post, but like I saw a kid, it was bedtime. And the mom said, time to put down your tablets. Let's go to bed. And the kid slammed down on the couch and said, I'm not going to bed. I'm not going to bed. The next, his sister is like, I'm 12 years old. You can't tell me what to do. Da, 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 da. Bro, it was a video and my blood, I was like, oh, if I literally posted it. I pray my kids do this to me.
Yeah.
Because they will feel a level of like, I don't want to use the word wrath, but we grew up with such a, like, if you dare say that to your parents.
Was there a man like in that video?
So there's the thing.
There
It was
was
just a mom saying it.
right.
It's like, yo, when they have other videos that showcase the dad, the kid is going up, acting up. The dad literally just walks into
You ever
the
see
room.
the prank one? You ever see the prank one? They're like,
Bruh,
shut up,
those are-
mom. And
yo.
then the dad comes in. Yeah, I see the man. He was wearing Spurs, bro.
Brother.
Man had his cowboy boots on. And
Yo.
his son or whatever said it. The man started running.
My youth.
Started running.
When
bro.
I tell you, there's certain pranks that you shouldn't pull on certain people, and they take that.
Yeah.
The thing, so not to be any particular way, but like, do you realize it's all like, it's not black? You don't see no black.
No, I see
you
some black people.
You see
in
some
there.
black people?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't see a lot of black people. I see more like
I
I want to see the black ones because I know them fathers would be like
I think-
railing up.
I see, to be honest, I see a lot of the white fathers and the black fathers react the same way.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that.
Like they're more so like, yo, don't
Don't
disrespect.
you dare!
disrespect your mother.
Don't you
But-
dare!
My uncle, well, like our uncle, for the sake of the podcast, I won't name,
Yeah.
right? But his grandson was disrespecting his grandmother.
Oh.
He came in, and saw it, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Don't you ever talk to my wife like that,
Facts.
right?"
Do you do that? Do you do that right now? Do you tell your kids don't talk to your wife like that?
Yeah.
Because I purposely say don't. I don't say talk to your mother like that.
Yeah.
I let them understand there's a distinction. She was my wife first,
and
then she became your mother.
Yeah.
So there's a hierarchy.
Fact.
If you dare step over it, like I don't like. Listen, I'm a loving father. I do my best to be the most loving father.
Yeah.
But I will not stand disrespect. I will not stand it. If they dare talk to their mom in any way, one time.
I think hold on. I think I'm capping. I think if I've done it, I've done it not as much as probably you done it.
Yeah, man, do it. Listen,
do it more
if they go off and want to be talking a certain way, like come at them raging bull and say, "Don't you dare talk to my wife like that."
So I didn't have it. I didn't like. Okay, so my kids are like. So I was telling Ras, I was like, "Yo, today we were putting them to sleep." That she's like, "Yo, go to bed," and he's like, my second oldest, like, nah, like he's like, "No, I don't want to go to bed."
Yeah,
and I was like, "What,
boy?"
And I was like,
"You better go.
Get upstairs now." Yeah. And I gave him the count, and he ran
upstairs. He ran upstairs.
He ran. He's okay. I'm going. Right. And that's okay. So like, I bring it to the point of like, I guess like the reel that you watch and they talk about like Savage, I'm like, how many of those kids, like how many, like to be honest, like the nuclear family is destroyed.
Yeah, it's not.
It's gone, right? It's non-existent anymore. Like people are not like,
or it's blended now. It's a blended nuclear family. It's not, hey, one mom, one dad. It's like, hey, I was here. I had this going on. All right, I'm coming over here. We're starting this over and doing it in that way, which is, it's still blessed. Like, you want people to find happiness, but man, I know a couple of people who are going through stuff right now behind that. It's not, what you said it best. It's not that easy road, It's not that easy road.
Feels it, knows it, right?
Bruh, preach. I'm not about that.
Feels it, knows it, man.
But I was saying that. I do that because my oldest is girls, right?
Yeah.
And they're gonna kick off with their mom. It's the funniest dynamic. Like 1 minute they're the best friends, and the next minute they kick off. And I definitely think that I'm the more patient parent.
Yeah.
I give them time. I let them. I say this carefully, but I give them rope.
Yeah.
I give them rope, and if you don't do what you're supposed to do, then you're gonna get that tug, and that tug is gonna be really hard.
Yeah.
And then the consequence or the outcome is gonna be like, I'm so sorry, Daddy. I wish I didn't do that. Like, you had your chance.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like they're still little kids. I get it.
Yeah.
But it's like when we were younger, like we knew that, like
we knew the consequences.
We knew what was going on. And like as men, like we have to shoulder so much. Like, and you were saying this to me off camera. Like, we have to shoulder it and then not say nothing about it.
You can't complain, bro.
Can't complain. You can't be this. You can't be that. Actually, here's a weird question. What's your take on if you're going through something and, there was a gentleman who spoke about, when you're going through stuff, don't bring that to your woman. Yeah. Like you got to go to your guys. You got to go to, you got to have a group of guys that like, listen, they're there to listen to you. Yeah. They're there to empathize. They're there to help support you, but don't you dare bring that to your woman. What do you think on that? Do you think that has validity? Or in my head, because the thought process is like, I think it comes down to the woman.
Yeah, I personally think that if you're going to mention, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I think it definitely boils down to the woman.
It does boil down to the woman, but
because it could, in some experiences that I've had, sometimes being the vulnerable male turns out to be more like everything you say can and will be used against you in the court of this relationship. And that's where I feel like it depends on the woman in where she is in her self journey and maybe her healing journey of whatever she's been
unpacking.
Going back to the unpacking. Because sometimes others don't see it as, this is my man coming to me with a big issue that he feels and he's letting it out. Instead, they then see it as ammo, which is, I guess it's just them not knowing the experience of, hey, if he's being vulnerable with you, he's showing you that he trusts you.
That's a trust.
You know what I mean? And I saw that reel too, and I was like, man, that is true. Because at the end of the day, it all depends on what relationship or what space your relationship is at the moment. Because I feel like with us men, there is a safe space. Obviously, we have our jokes where we crack on each other.
Yeah,
but
that's standard.
Okay, but like, okay, take it in. I think, all right, look at it like this: if you have a solid set of homeboys, right, and you're fucking up,
keyword,
solid,
keyword,
right? And you're fucking up, your homeboys are gonna tell you you're fucking up.
Messed up.
Yeah,
you
word,
messed
right?
up.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you tell your woman who's gonna step into your life as like in that matriarch role, she's gonna more so coddle you,
perhaps,
right?
That's what ladies do.
That's what they do.
They support each other.
Yeah, they nurture, right?
Oh, it's okay.
Exactly.
You know,
so it's like a man who will go to his boys first, chances are by the time he tells his woman, he's already had a solution.
Or executed it.
He's already executed
process.
in
process.
So he's already in a situation where he's like, I'm telling her after the fact.
Here's the breakdown. Here's what I was going through.
And you know her answer is always going to be like, well, you should have told me why you were going
to. It's not the same, man. It's not the same.
And it's like, okay, if I told you and you were accepting, you would have coddled me, which is not what I needed.
Right.
And if I told you and I didn't have a plan and you weren't accepting, you would have castrated me for it. Right? You would have kind of been like, this guy, he's not being manly, Either way, it would have, because if you coddled me enough, our relationship would have, if I had taken your word for it, I would have gotten comfortable.
Right.
And if you had castrated me for it, even if your castration made me move, I would have resented you for it. Right?
True.
Yeah.
So I just feel like I feel like those are things that we don't speak on, like when it comes to like the whole speaking to your woman thing. I feel like like you have to talk to her. Yes, you need to speak to her and she needs to understand you. But it's like,
you know what the challenge there is though, D? Is the listening. Because you see, like, I have understood over time, there's hearing and then there's listening. There's hearing, like I'm hearing you, versus like, okay, I'm listening to you. Okay, and listening provokes that thought to what you're saying. Like, okay, he's being he's being vulnerable. Like, oh my gosh, he trusts me with this. Like, oh my God, like there's a lot behind that, but it goes back to what Ras said. That's not possible if there isn't a level of development that has already happened for them.
Yes.
So it's a very, dare I say, slippery slope. And that's why it's so important for you to have your guys. Like, you have to have your guys where it's like, yo, man, this is what's happening. This is what's going on. And I say this not to put anything down about anybody, but I think this has more to do with once you have a level of ambition. Because if you're going to go complain about the woman that you're with to your man them, like, yo, complaining about her ain't gonna do nothing.
The word.
It's different if you're like, yo, man, I'm up against the wall right now with this business deal, or this is happening. Yo, I made a move here. This might be a little bit, yo, the stress is on me, this and this, whatever. That's different.
Yeah.
I say this all based on a level of ambition because, let's be transparent, we all know guys from either high school or maybe even post-secondary that you'll see them today and you saw them 5 years ago, and it's like they've just in a circle. Like they really haven't made a move
anywhere.
They haven't made a move at all. Like there's been, the progression has been limited or nil. So that's not what I'm talking about. Because remember when we were younger and we go watch them man, they go play soccer, and they'd be talking about this, that, and the third. And after a while, it's when I pennied it, I was like, yo, these men are talking about the same thing over and over. And I'm like, yo, man, this is insanity. Yo, facts. This is insanity. Like I can't deal with that. I can't deal with that. So
there's
like,
no leveling up in that regard. And
No.
it comes same thing with that partner. I can't say it's just the woman's side. I know for some men too, they don't know how to level up to be able to be there for that queen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it all boils down to the unpacking of where you
bro.
are in the space that you are. And man, you know, we talked about childhood and growing up, and I think some of it may come back from that time period of their life when they were either coddled too much, or gave them free range too much, and they don't know. Hey, yo, take a stop. Check yourself first. It ain't. If you gone through the same thing once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, it ain't the other people, bro.
It's you.
Man or woman. It ain't the other person. It's yourself. And so you got to find that. You gotta
reach
find
in.
that.
You gotta reach in and be like, yo, okay.
You got to find yourself back to you.
Something has to give. And it's interesting. Like, do you guys listen to any of the Reddits? Do you do a lot of Reddit listens or anything like that?
Just the horror stories.
Horror stories? I don't even touch the horror stories. Funny enough, I'm on malicious compliance or pro revenge, or am I the asshole? So like, I heard some. So there's one that I listened to today that in my head I was like, yo, this guy, I didn't want to say it. I kept saying like, yo, no way is this guy being, I guess the term is simp. There's no way this guy is being a simp, or no way this guy is being a waste man. But the more I listened, I'm like, yo, this guy is a waste man. Because he just kept allowing his girl, his woman, who's now his fiance, just to walk over him and like, bruh, I know this right now. If I'm in a relationship with a woman and every time we get into an argument, her first solution is to leave, after a while, she don't need to come back.
Yeah.
And that was this guy's situation over and over. Once they get into an argument, she picks up and leave. Yeah. And this guy's always like, oh, tell me where you are. I just want to know that you're safe and this and that. And I'm like, bro, in my head, I'm like, I appreciate the compassion you're showing to this woman. But like, you use the word coddle. Yo, what are you doing? Like, what is happening here? And he went on to talk about, she kept testing him, which I think for any of us here, like, I hate getting tested and like, oh, you did well, or oh, you didn't do us. Like, yo, why are you testing me?
Yeah.
Because this is something that we will probably have a conversation about all the time. And I feel it's the most powerful tool that as men and women we have, but I don't think we realize how powerful it is our communication skills.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what happened there, bro?
I stopped smoking.
He stopped smoking.
I kind of stopped smoking too.
What happened? Like, that is a very interesting dynamic.
It's a very interesting dynamic, and it's crazy. You know what I mean? Because I was the herbalist.
Yeah.
Post high school.
Yeah.
Post secondary.
Yeah. What happened there?
So how the fight in China got there. The crazy thing about the fight is like we were talking earlier about not complaining.
Yeah.
And that's a part of why I didn't say much that happened. Because we went on the fight. We had some great experiences. But we were out in like 36, 37 degree weather.
Ooh.
Like doing outings, going to the Forbidden City, going to the Great Wall of China.
And we're talking 36 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's hella hot.
Yeah.
Okay. Hella hot.
So, and we didn't train as much, but the kicker is, y'all know me, I don't eat meat.
Yeah.
So I thought going to China, being the guy who loved like Buddhism and all that, I was like, yo, I could find vegan spots anywhere I go because it's China.
Was that not the case?
Not the case for me.
Bro, it's like going to Jamaica. What do you mean?
Are you serious?
Go to Jamaica, bro, you can't barely find an ITAL spot.
Are you serious?
Bro.
There are, obviously, but
but I had to go ways out to get it, and I was like, just shoot me some vegetables, please. Just plus I didn't know the language. So here's the thing: we ate buffet for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Yeah. The problem with buffet is
no veggie option.
No, there is veggie options, but here's the thing: if you are unconscious that you are taking the beef spoon and putting the beef spoon into the veggie, then you're just gonna put the beef spoon in the veggie. So I didn't realize in the moment that it was happening that's
what's happening. Yeah.
And then I got sick, like food poisoning.
Cross contamination.
Yes. So I was like in the back, like my roommate could tell you, I was in the bathroom like non-stop hurling. So plus I was cutting weight.
Yeah.
Got into the fight. Like sidebar 2, as we talk about we're being fathers, I had issues, you know, in those moments, like being able to see my kid before I left.
Stress on top of that. Bruh.
The first thought, shout out to my brother Blade, because he was like, bro, like you can't do that to yourself again. You can't bring that to the ring. And I was like, bro, I bring it to the ring all the time, but that moment it didn't work in my favor.
Yeah, because you usually bring it for rage. You usually bring it for the rage.
As rage.
Yeah,
I saw the big lights. I saw the moment, and I was like, yo, my kid can't even see this, bro. And I teared up.
Yeah, you gotta go with the Godfather said. You know what the Godfather said? He said, never hate your enemy. Because when you hate your enemy, it clouds your judgment. Yo, I'm telling you.
The fight ended up with me getting knocked out, and I was concussed.
Ooh.
So, me being me, I didn't feel the concussion as way as people thought about it, because they were like listing all these things that you'd feel, and I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm literally good. I got up out the fight and be like, yo, and they were asking me questions after, and like, oh, so what do you want to do next? I was like, nah, bring that boy back to Canada. This is literally what I said, like, bring him back. Bring him back. And they're like, no, you should rest. I was like, nah, I want that boy back right now. Whenever you guys decide to bring him to Canada, bring that boy to Canada.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, but you should go and rest. I'm like, nah, I'm good. But I was in rage mode. And when I came back, I smoked. And like, I got super paranoid. Like super paranoid. And I was like, what? I can't smoke. And I kept on smoking because I'm like, yeah, nah, maybe it's just the herb, and I start using
a different
back
one,
to my
strain,
cess. You know, I was like, yo, maybe it's a strain. Can't do this stupid government thing. I gotta do the old school stuff. Naturals thing. Same thing. Pyro. Like smoke too much, I'm out. Like I want to stay home. I want to go nowhere else. I go outside, I'm like, ooh, I can't. And I was like, all right.
You all know what the funny thing is? That same shit happened to me, bro.
Yeah, so weird.
Yeah, bro. Like I don't know if you can see like on my forehead that the camera can't see, but like
there's
on my forehead I got stitches right here.
Yeah.
So I got some real like head damage. Yeah, and like after that, bro, like I realized that smoking was different for me at that point. Like it was different. Like it was like I was a little bit, like you said, like a little bit more paranoid. Stay at home. I took a break, and I went back, and I took a break, and I went back, and then eventually, like I kind of got obsessed with mastering it. I wanted to master how I felt because I didn't like the fact that I felt that way on it. I was like, I don't like, I was an herbalist, bro. Like I used to smoke all the time. Like, yo, there's no way I can feel like this off of this now. So I used to just be like, all right, like, yo, I gotta figure this out.
Yeah.
So
did you do like the 2 totes, the 3 totes, the 4 totes?
Yo, you wanna know what the thing is no, like I would smoke and I would meditate.
Oh,
so I would smoke and then I would meditate heavily. I would read, kind of like direct my mind in a certain way,
right.
That I wanted it to be,
yeah,
opposed to it. And then I started like outside of like being high, I started realizing, like your thoughts are not you. You know what I'm saying? So like I wouldn't dive too deep. I could almost like withdraw myself from those high thoughts, like some of the high thoughts I was having that weren't me. So it's like when I'd get paranoid, I was like, there you go again. You're being paranoid, and I could watch it from like a
distance,
like
you're seeing someone else.
And I would be like, okay, and then it would just dissipate, and I would be fine. And that's how I am now. When I smoke now, it's like like those things still come, but even with just everyday life. Like, yo, like I get anxious or certain things happen and like I can kind of like move myself away from that moment, like I'm back, like when I'm hooping, right? Like I don't know, like I thought I was the only one, but I started realizing people feel like this. Like I hoop in leagues, right? So like anytime before a game, like if I play pickup basketball, I'm confident. I'm doing all this stuff. But when I play in a league, it's just the league just makes me like start overthinking.
Stomachs are nuts.
Yeah, get nuts and all these things.
Until that first bucket. For me.
Yeah, till I see the ball go in the hoop a couple times, you know, till whatever, or if I get really, really like passionate about the game, then I like kind of lose that thought, and then eventually like I just started like, especially recently, I started like being able to be like, oh, there you go, whatever but you love the game. I was able to like really like detach myself from that like thought process.
Yeah.
Right.
And then now like I just play where it's like, okay, just play the game, so it's like now I'm like in the game. And I'm not worried about what everybody else is thinking. I'm not worried about who this guy is in front of me. I'm not worried about none of that. I'm just kind of just trying to do me. I'm just looking for the bright passes. I'm looking, can I get to the lane? Okay, like once I'm here, oh, he's cutting me off. All right, pull it back to the, like get to my spot, shoot, or oh, there's a guy coming. You know what I'm saying? So
whatever decision is.
Whatever decision is, and I'm realizing that they're happening faster because I'm so locked into the moment, right?
Yeah.
So like,
I feel that.
just being able to detach yourself from that that thought process, because all your mind, right?
Yeah, it's true, and it's there was that moment where I was meditating too, and it was like, that's not you.
Yeah.
And then the one day I was like walking, and I was like, yo, but at the end of the day, it's a part of you. Because if you're having the experience, it's still attached to you no matter what. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to just stop smoking.
Wow.
Because at the end of it, I want to be the wholesome version of me.
Yeah.
And to be that, I got to go into these feelings without having any influence outside. No THC, no mushrooms, no nothing. You need to find it by yourself. And started meditating a little bit more than I used to, because I'm like, all right, if I ain't gonna smoke, I don't have to substitute that bad boy with something else. So meditation is like the kick. And I was like, yeah, that's how we gotta do it. You know what I mean? Because you gotta tap into that you. The same thing of being in that ring, because at the end of the day, when you're in there, it's you.
It's you, yeah.
You know what I mean? The evidence of your training camp, the evidence of whatever you did leading up to this fight or this moment, it's going to show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you've
so,
really been doing what
you've really been doing what you're supposed to doing. Yeah. That's it.
No, I agree with that, man. I agree with that. Well, this has been definitely blessed. This has been blessed.
This has been
I am greatly appreciative to you guys, and I look forward to more sharing of perspective, sharing of thoughts, and having questions and answers given, especially for outside perspective.
Right.
Like, we're gonna give perspectives of outside where it's like, hey, here's a situation, what's your perspective on it?
Oh, for sure.
Because I've learned so much and had such a level of appreciation for what has been happening in my life when I see or get information about what is happening out there. Like, whether it be with relationship, whether it be with work, whether it be with even your parents, like just all of these things, there's value to be had in some way, shape, or form. So definitely appreciate you guys. Definitely look forward to when we can do this again, and definitely playing it all into like us coming together like this. We're having this come together for for the purpose. Like, what's the purpose, right?
Yeah. What's the purpose?
Because we definitely want to know that we can be dads unscripted, we can be fathers unscripted, just talk about different things that's going on with us, and know that the support is there, but also to be a support for others.
Facts.
Because there's a lot of people that are going through interesting times, other men who may not have a support or an outlet to say, hey, this is what's happening to me here. Listen to you guys, appreciate what you guys are sharing, and we'll go from there. So definitely appreciate you guys, man. Definitely appreciate.
That's definitely, because we ask ourselves, what is the purpose? And the purpose is just to be ourselves, create that space for anybody who wants to even sit with us and be like, all right, here's my story.
Yeah.
What do you think? what do you feel,
Yeah.
what do you hear, and
Is there value?
is there value?
Yeah, exactly.
And there's always, listen, man, there's value in every single
Everything.
thing that
Someone can teach you something.
Yeah,
every single person.
every single
person can
Yep.
teach you
Even
something.
a bum on the street.
Even the
a
bum
drunk
on the street.
Yeah, drunk on the street, a bum on the street, whoever. Like, if you feel like they can't teach you nothing, bro, you're
already
like,
you're already behind.
You're already behind.
You're already behind.
Yo, actually, before we end off, I wanted to say this. One time I was at Woodbine Beach.
Yeah.
And there was a dude collecting cans and shit, like, just on the floor or whatever. And I said something to him. Like, I don't even remember what I said, but I remember what he said to me. And he's like, necessity is the father of invention.
Yeah?
Yeah, bro. And that shit, like, stuck with me. And I was just like, bro, like, this guy's like, he's collecting cans on the road. He's like, necessity is the father of invention. And I was just like, bro, from that day forward, whenever I hear, like, sometimes, like, a drunk person or a homeless person might say some shit to me, I'll listen. Obviously, sometimes you have like, you always have people who's just saying mere foolishness. You know what I'm saying? Just whatever to you, right?
Out of their ass.
Yeah, bro. Like, but it could be anywhere. It could even be your boss could be saying the most foolishness. You're listening to me, and it's like, yo, what is man I talk about? But yo, like, you know,
as the saying goes, you have to pick sense out of nonsense.
Yo, facts. Because there's sense there.
There's sense there, but you gotta pick that out.
You have to pick it out. Trust me.
That story is definitely one of those where you may not be paying attention, but something else in you is paying attention to it, and it struck a chord, and that's what we're here for. Like, striking chords. Giving you what you need, but not knowing that you need it in the moment. Yeah. And I hope that for me, I hope that my kids can listen to this when they grow up and then be like, yo, okay.
Real talks.
I can pick sense out of nonsense, you know what I mean?
My dad's not as weird as I thought he was. Because that's what's happening. Like,
so true.
Our kids idolize us right now because they're young, but I already know it's going to come a time when they're going to be like,
man, they're weird.
Is this guy think he is? And then it's gonna come full circle where it's like, oh my God, Daddy, you're the best. Because right now that's what I get. I get, Daddy, you're so smart. Oh my gosh, Daddy, da 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 da. And I'm like, hey, I appreciate that, but I have to keep it level because I'm like, I hear other parents talk about their older kids and they're like, yeah, they're gonna probably hate you.
Bro, I personally feel I never been there yet. My kid is she's 9. But I feel like if you grow with your kid, I feel like there's a difference. I feel like you might be able to find a difference because I see a lot of people who have kids, bro. Yeah, and that relationship doesn't ever wane, bro.
Yeah,
like they always stay locked in, like because they're growing with their kids.
Yeah.
And it's usually the parents who act young. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you have to act young, but it's like you still have that youth in you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You still have that youth in you. You're not afraid to listen to the music and try to understand what they're listening to, or like, or whatever. They dress a certain way, and maybe you might take interest. I'm not saying you're trying to dress fully like a 17-year-old youth, and you're 50 something, 50 odd years old, 40 odd years old. But you might see a shoe that they wear that you're like, that's proper. Or the jean style that they're wearing, or the shirt that they're wearing, like, that's proper. You might indulge because you can see something, a fashion sense or whatever in it, and relate to it. Because all this shit does is just recycle itself. But I feel like what a lot of people do, they cut themselves off. Yeah, they cut that umbilical cord.
True.
To the younger generation, and that's why a lot of their kids don't like them anymore. There's that gap because they become too much of a drill sergeant, right? And you do need to be a drill sergeant because you do need to like impart certain things on your kids, regardless if they like it or not.
True.
Because like certain shit that our parents told us, we didn't like it, but like they told us and they did certain things and it saved our lives.
Yeah.
Let's keep it a being like, like they saved our lives. And it's like we need to do the same things our kids may not like it, but we're saving their lives. That's what we're there for. I don't give a shit if you don't like me. but like, yo, I need to, you know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I also do want us and people out there to grow with their kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not to just cut them off and like,
Yeah.
yo, you're a kid. You can't. Yo,
You don't
you're
know
a kid.
nothing.
You don't know nothing. No, yo, you're
yeah.
whatever. Like, what is this boom bap shit
Like,
you're listening to? And
Yeah,
you
I
know?
think the whole parenting aspect is like our kids are younger than some of our other friends and families' kids.
Yeah.
So like I think now is the time where we parent.
Yeah.
And as they grow into adolescence and teenage years, then the wisdom, the knowledge, the structure that we have given these young ones, we can only hope that they may just take it with a grain of salt, but
Yeah.
we can just hope that maybe some of the good things that we have passed down to them, that they have taken it, and some of the bad things they go, all right, let me kick that to the curb because that's not working this generation right now.
Yeah, no, I get that.
And then they grow into the adult that we hope for them. You know, we just, like for me, I can only speak for me. I just want my boys to be the best version of themselves.
Facts.
I don't care. Like I tell my oldest all the time, I was like, bro, you ain't got to do this to impress me. You do this for you.
I do this for you. Exactly.
If you want it,
I'm gonna love you
I
regardless.
want it for you.
I'm gonna love you regardless.
If you're doing it to nah, bro, don't do that to please
Wrong
me.
reason.
That's
But
not the
like
reason.
R.I.P. Kobe Bean Bryant.
Yeah.
He said, yo, he was getting his ass kicked in basketball for a while. And when his dad said, yo, I'm gonna love you regardless,
Yeah.
that's when he started kicking ass.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep,
so it's
yep,
like,
yep.
yo, like that's what you gotta impart on them.
Yep.
To be like, yo, regardless of whatever it is that you do,
Mm-hmm.
I am here and I
With
love
you
you.
and support. Yeah.
Yo, with support, I got your back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So,
So yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
facts.
Well, thank you guys for listening to our podcast.
Yes.
What's
sir.
the purpose?
What's the purpose?
What's the purpose?
Dad's unscripted. Father's unscripted.
Dad's unscripted.
Facts.
We're fathers unscripted. And yeah, let us know. Like, share, subscribe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone have a good
blessed
evening.
day.
Have a blessed
Smash
day.
that like button.
Pray
I always want
more,
to say that.
talk less.
Yeah.
And
For the uninitiated, pre means think. For the uninitiated,
Yes.
pre means think.
Or
pray
look
more,
hard.
talk
Look
less.
hard,
Or
yeah.
look hard. Pause.
Pause,
Look
pause.
good.
Five.
Look good. Shot less. Yes,
Yo,
it.
facts.
You know what I mean?
All right, respect.
You already know, yo. Yes, sir.